love people because God loves people. It has nothing to do with how religious they are, how devoted they are. You love them because God loves everyone.
Everyone knew our father as the rabbi and a good friend. His passion and care opened doors and hearts across the Akron community and beyond. This driving fire was kindled much earlier. In 1964, in the small Israeli village of Ta'anach, a baby boy was born to our grandparents, Bubby and Mendy Sasonkin. The young parents were recent emissaries of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem M. Schneerson, near Afula, to spread the joy of Judaism with the community there. Their firstborn son, Mendy, joined them in their holy work. And with that, a spark was ignited in this little boy. As our father grew up and his 8 younger siblings were born, his passion for learning and growing was clear to all. Wise beyond his years, he often studied on his own, satisfying his thirst for knowledge of things holy and academic. At the young age of 11, he traveled away to the Chabad Yeshiva in Lud to further his studies. The spark inside now turned into a little flame. Our father excelled in his studies and especially in his care for others. Already at a young age, he was traveling across the country to reach out to Jews of all types, encouraging them to embrace their Judaism. At age 17, he traveled to New York to study at 770 near the Lubavitcher Rebbe, forever his mentor and teacher.
I had the privilege to study in New York and be next to this great giant. And more than anything, I learned from the Rebbe's personal example, how the Rebbe showed this tremendous vision and selfless dedication to the Jewish people. He taught us really what it means to love another person.
Our father took the Rebbe's message across the US and beyond, spending time in the Soviet Union and later in South Africa as a student rabbi as he finished his rabbinical studies. The little flame burned a lot stronger. In the summer of 1987, now Rabbi Sasonkin met a young girl from Cleveland by the name of Kayla Alevsky. A persuasive father had a lot of convincing to do, and he succeeded. A short while later, in 1988, they were married. The young couple knew that in addition to their own family they would be building, they wanted to find a community they could love and help grow. In 1989, the Sasonkins were sent by the Lubavitcher Rebbe to start Chabad of Akron Canton, under the guidance of our grandparents, Rabbi and Mrs. Alevsky, directors of Chabad of Northeastern Ohio. Their mission was to help spread the warmth and joy of Judaism to the brothers and sisters in the Akron Canton area. The newly arrived Rabbi and Rebbitzin got straight to work with their Chabad outreach, building personal relationships with every Jew they met. Shabbat and holiday celebrations, Hanukkah lightings, Purim parties, Torah classes, and youth programs, just to name a few of the activities that brought vibrant energy and excitement to Jewish life in Akron Canton. Our father also served as rabbi at Agudas Achim congregation in Canton for the first 5 years. At the same time, Rabbi Liebtag of blessed memory, the beloved, warm, and dedicated rabbi of Anshe Sfard, welcomed and encouraged our parents to run Chabad activities in his shul. In 1995, when Rabbi Liebtag retired, the shul board invited our father to take over his position. With his personable smile, his ever-present joy, and unbounding faith, our father stepped into his role as the new rabbi of Anshe Sfard. He continued igniting one soul at a time, spreading his love for Judaism with those around him. The flame burned bright.
And people ask me of all these exotic places in the world, you chose Akron, Ohio? Well, the only solace I have is that I live on a street called Pebble Beach. My friends, we may not have these beautiful beaches, we may not have the beautiful golf courses, we may not have the weather that these places offer, but we surely have the best community in the world.
Our father embarked on the mission of actualizing the dream of the congregation in 1970 by building a complete shul with a sanctuary and education wing. With his creative and technical mind, he planned the entire building down to the last detail, turning the old Anshe Sfard into a palace. When asked why a small town like Akron needed such a big synagogue, Rabbi Sasonkin would answer,
Akron, Ohio is truly a tiny little town with a very small Jewish community. So people want to know, why did the Lubavitcher Rebbe spend such time and effort to sending rabbis to such little towns? And I want you to know that over the years, the Rebbe made special emphasis on sending specifically to small towns, even more than the large towns. And the Rebbe gave an interesting analogy. There's a story that many of you know in the Medrash of Moshe was running after the little sheep that was running away from the herd, and then finally he caught on to that and picked it up and brought it back to be with the rest of the sheep. And the Rebbe asked an interesting question. Why would Moshe leave a large group and go after one little one? Isn't the large one more important than the one? And the Rebbe's explanation was that the large group will manage together. The little one will be lost.
the new shul building enhanced, the meeting place where the entire Jewish community is welcome to celebrate, learn, and grow. Rabbi was always intent on uniting the community through collaboration with the Jewish organizations.
I would like to mention and welcome our Akron tremendous family that is here with us. I want you to know something. You are the ones who enabled us to have this most beautiful shul in the world. Thank you so much.
Is she or isn't she? Became the common question as our family grew. Starting with Shmuley, followed by Chaim, Moshe, Musi, Berla, Levi, Meir, Ari, Yossi, and Chana. We kids always loved our father's hugs and playful character, and all of us individually felt special through a personalized chant he composed for each child. We turned to him for advice and guidance on any subject and any matter, because he just knew everything. He set a proper example for all of us of what it means to be a true shliach of the Rebbe and lead a selfless and meaningful life. In addition to being a loving and caring father, he was a devoted and loving husband. We watched as our father practiced what he preached. A happy wife is a happy life. Always treating our mother with respect and as an equal partner in family matters and shlichus.
And then we have to thank, next to the Almighty, is your wife. So it's time to thank my wife, Kayla.
As Tati became Zaidi, we watched his love spread to the next generation, and he had no greater joy than spending time with his grandchildren. In 2010, our father learned of his devastating illness. He chose not to worry anyone with his diagnosis. Instead, he increased his positive attitude, trust in God, and joy for Judaism, visibly by his constant humming and trademark dancing. Our family and the Akron community caught on to his contagious spirit and friendly ambiance. Our parents encouraged every Jew they encountered to become lamplighters in their own right, sparking and igniting those around them. The chain never ends, and the light is constantly growing. On the happiest day of the year, Simchat Torah, just after the most joyous celebration at Anshe Sfard, followed by Hakafot at home, at our Father's bedside, our Father's soul ascended to the heavenly spheres. The way he lived his life is the way he left it. Surely, God intentionally chose that day to inspire us to live our lives in a joyous way. Tati, your influence, warmth, and care has not ended. Your legacy continues as we and all those who knew you are inspired by your faith, energy, and passion, and do as you would, filling the world with joy and light.
And say l'chaim for to life and all the prayers that we have asked before, God should fulfill them to the full and to the best in Israel, here, and all over the world. L'chaim, l'chaim.
Your flame continues to burn stronger than ever before.